to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Ebro in the Morning. Laura Stiles had to vamp today. Y'all know Laura Stiles pregnant, so she wasn't feeling too hot, Keke. So that's why Laura's not with us today, because, you know, she was having a situation. She needed to go lay down.
Congratulations. I did not know that she was pregnant. This is huge, love.
Oh, it sure is.
Huge, love. We got Rosenberg here and Keke Palmer on the program.
Yeah,
Keke. I love me some Keke Palmer, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't we all?
I don't know about y'all. I know
Oh,
about
you don't
me.
know?
I don't know.
You said, you don't know?
So, Keke, wait, hold up, man. So I watched the episodes on the Facebook show where you was playing the multiple characters.
Oh.
Yo, I'm on that. B, when's the next episode dropping, man?
So Turned Up with the Taylors, you know, we only did
Turned
one
Up with
season.
the Taylors. That's what it is, yo.
Episodes, so we'll see what more is that we can build out there. But I did that just to see, you know, what the response was, get the feedback on that new character, and it was all positive. I'm so happy because I never did that before. I usually just do one character. So
wait, was this like you were hosting the show with Strahan and doing all that, right?
Yes.
And they put you in there, and so are you still doing that show?
Unfortunately, that show got taken off because
that show's done.
That show was done. You know, once COVID happened, it was like, you know, we couldn't go there no more. And we were like a show that really was built on the audience. And It was interesting news. So it was a lot lighter what we were talking about. I think things got so, you know, obviously real. Exactly. So it was like, we needed to be talking about the pandemic. And so that's what the news shifted to. Was
so
all
does
about
that mean, so it's over, or it's hiatus?
It's over. I mean, I'm still, you know, working on stuff, creating stuff with the company, but that show in particular is
so. I thought when you made Turning Up with the Taylors, I was like, ooh, she launched her own show. She about to get a super bag off there. Like, this about to be great. I wasn't sure that. So you made Turn Up with the Taylors yourself. Like, that was just something you were just like, I'm doing this.
I made that at the same time as I was actually filming SSK. I went out on a weekend to LA and filmed Turned Up with the Taylors, literally just 2 days with a production company called Kids at Play and with Facebook. So that's how we did that. And that was just me in my producing bag. You know, I a lot of times I'll show my characters and it's really just to gauge what more of a story I can build around it based on the fans' response. And so they really liked Chelsea. So then I went and pitched a concept to Facebook and they dropped a bag and we filmed the show.
So what are you doing right now, Keke? Because, I mean, you're a woman of many talents. There's so much. There's singing, acting, hosting, and a lot of people, like for example, I do a lot of stuff, none of it that well. You do everything so damn well. Yeah. What are you doing right now every day?
I hate you. Don't ever try to come after yourself like that. No, you know, I'm doing right now, working on this movie, starring in and producing called Alice, which I spoke to you about. I spoke to you about.
I remember.
A few months ago. It's a very empowering film that is all in historical context, but really covering the reality that slavery or slaves were kept past abolishment. But it's not your typical story in that regard because you realize very quickly that you're actually not in the 1800s, you're in the 1970s. And the journey is a lot more about something a lot less victimizing that we've seen in this world when it comes to a female lead. So I'm very excited about that. And that's what I'm starting right now. I'm in Savannah and, you know, getting ready.
Wow, that's intense. So it's not just all laughing and shenanigans with you when it comes to the playing the roles, right? Like, this is a real serious role.
Yeah. This one is going back to you know, my roots of when I used to always do drama. Now I've been able to branch out a little bit more, and it helps me because when you do the drama, a lot of times it really can be taxing on you. It really, really can. You know, it's hard to shake some of those emotions off. So that's why I dove into comedy so much for a minute there. But when it came to this script in particular, even though it's covering such heavy themes, the reality is that, you know, she's not a weak victim. She's not, you know, Alice is not that girl. Alice is a representation, I feel, of what our ancestry looks like, not just always the sad stories we see. So that's why I was like, you know what, even though this is a slave movie and it's going to be heavy and it's this, and I don't know if I want to see that, what this movie projects is not typical from what we've seen with that world. And that's what I was happy about.
So you as a child star, on the films early, putting out music as you became, entered your teens and 20s, you started dropping music. Has it been hard for you to, because you're so talented, as Rosenberg just said.
Thanks.
Has it been hard to figure out, like, this is my main path, or do you not even think about that?
I think it's not so much I would be thinking like, if this is my main path. It's like I would always be wondering, where am I? What I always felt like there was no blueprint for me to follow, because if I look to anybody, I would always add another thing that I want to do that they didn't do. So then I think it was really me trying to ask myself, what is the blueprint that I'm trying to create? More or less, what's my favorite thing, but what am I trying to say? I was trying to figure myself out creatively and what the voice of what I was trying to be was. And then I realized that it really was just a brand beyond me that speaks to my community. And hopefully I get to the position someday where you don't just see me. When you think Keke and when you think Keke Palmer, you think about the same way you think is, anybody. You think like huge. You think, okay, this is a production. You don't just think
like Spike. Like you think Spike. You think,
yeah. Or I forget the man I'm trying to think of that produces all the big award shows.
I'm sorry to this man. I don't know this man. I'm sorry to this man.
I'm like Dick Clark.
There
you know what I'm saying?
All right.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's not just the person's name. It's what they
It's an
have
entity.
Done. It's an entity.
Dick Clark's brand was so big that Ryan Seacrest still hosts, and the show is called Dick Clark's New Year's Eve.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's next level. That's like next level. That's where it's at.
I could see it, Keke. I really could with you. Now you're such a amazing. You're such an amazing voice in the world, and we just talked about Alice and what that role means, and the powerful black woman, and seeing her in a role that's not black woman as victim, but as the powerful human being that black women have always been in this country. So speaking of which, I had to know your thoughts on seeing a black woman in a vice presidential debate last week. Did you get to spend any time with that? And just what are your thoughts on what Kamala is doing?
I watched the whole thing, love.
I hope so. I was praying you did, but if you did, I didn't want to be like, wait, you didn't see it?
No, I was literally tuned in, zoomed in, everything in. And that fly on his head, though, we ain't gonna go into that. I absolutely love Kamala for being able to stand in this position and still have class, but still have the ability to demand the respect she deserves in these rooms. This is the thing. Whether you agree with whoever party or whatever, when it comes to a black female being capable of being the vice president of America, that speaks to me. And it's an inspiration to me. And it's an inspiration to my little sister, who's actually going to FAMU right now and studying political science and dreams of being able to be in those kinds of positions someday. So that, to me, more than anything, is a representation and how in which she's representing. When I watched her up there, I just was very proud. I mean, obviously, she's older than me and very accomplished. She don't need me to be proud of her. But I was, as a young woman, watching and saying, wow, look at her really stand up there and doing it and holding her own up against this man who keeps interrupting her and but she's not letting it sweat. Because, the moment that she would, or the moment she tried to snap back, then it would be this thing. And she knew. But she was still speaking to us through every move that she made. And I loved it. I'm happy for her.
The shade game.
Well, that's what I want to. Now, Keke, can you analyze? How would you rate her level of I'm speaking?
Oh, what she was telling his ass was keep playing, keep on. She was doing like the mama that's in your house when you
sunning them. She was sunning them.
Keep on. You know what I'm saying? And she was being, I don't even know how to explain it, but she was giving you that AKA vibe. You ever met some AKAs? I think she is an AKA. She was giving us very like, I'm gonna keep it cool, but when we walk up out of here, your ass is dead. You're done, love.
So have you started meeting with Angela Bassett about playing Angela Bassett in her life story yet? Have those meetings started happening yet?
Literally everybody has always been like, and I want to know now, because everybody keeps saying I need to play her story. I want to know now what Angela Bassett's story is.
I need to go find out.
But that's what I'm saying. This is a Keke production.
let's go. Because if Angela got some stuff in the closet that we need to pull on.
But on some real is like Angela went to like Yale or something. Like Angela's shit is crazy official.
Yes, very official. She really studied theater, acting. She's very, she's very smart. I worked with her once, and she's taught me a lot throughout my career. So I would love to play her.
She also has one of the classiest names of all time.
Angela Bassett.
Yes. Well, my uncle, he says Angela Bassett.
See? He has to make it even classier.
Bassett.
Angela Bassett, not Angela Bassett. Like, stop.
Miss Bassett.
Very extra for no reason.
So, and another thing is, I think you're playing Angela Bassett in Turning Up with the Taylors. One of them characters is Angela Bassett playing Angela Bassett.
You're talking about the mom, Miranda.
Yeah.
Miranda.
She's playing Angela Bassett.
He's literally a lot of people mixed together. You know who also is a dash in there is the tone of the mom from All in the Family.
Right.
I think I pulled in her tone a little bit when I was thinking. I was like, what does that lady sound? What's that mom's voice?
How speaking of old sitcoms, are you a big sitcom studier? Do you watch like classic TV? Because just watching even how look, I'm telling you, I'm in to Turn Up with the Taylors, because it is rare. It is rare. I mean, Carol Burnett, some of the great women that had played multiple characters in the same show. Carol Burnett had her own sketch comedy TV, which was unheard of at the time. And so when I saw you doing this, I was like, shit, Keke's on. Yo, this could really turn into something right here. Like the day we see a woman do what Eddie Murphy did with the clumps and the whole, you know what I mean? Like you're on that path. And so I was into it. But, and so I wanted to know, did you study and do you watch a lot of those old sitcoms?
I do. I watch a lot of old stuff. I mean, I did a lot growing up, the Jeffersons. I watch everything, Good Times. Anything that you could think of. I love Lucy, a huge fan of I Love Lucy. Right. Mark, Sister. I mean, a huge sitcom fan. And when I first got into the industry, the first person I met was Ralph Farquhar, who did some of our most beloved sitcoms, The Parkers, Moesha, and so on. The Family as well. So I have done a lot of studying, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And, I mean, my dream is to be able to break through in that space of comedy as somebody that you think of just like a guy or a woman. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be, like you said, this thing where only guys are able to do this level of comedy. Like, I'm ready to look ugly, crazy, goofy, whatever. I want the joke. I want to entertain the people. And I appreciate you for seeing that in Turned Up with the Taylors.
Oh, Ebro, don't forget Tracy Ullman.
Oh, Tracy Ullman. That's right. Oh, Tracy Ullman. How dare I?
She birthed the Simpsons, son.
Facts.
She's so good, Tracy Ullman. And homegirl.
Oh, yeah. What's her name? Superstar.
Molly Shannon?
Molly Shannon.
Yeah. I mean, we have some amazing female comedy. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg. When you think about like Whoopi Goldberg with that, one woman show. My mom said that her life when she first seen that. I mean, people like her, you think about all of Whoopi Goldberg's roles, half the time they were for other people, but Whoopi Goldberg came in and ripped the auditions that they gave her sister act, that they gave her Ghost. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's amazing. Keke Palmer also with the multi-talent has dropped an EP, or the EP is about to drop. Is it out? Virgo Tendencies?
The EP dropped like 2 months ago. It's called Virgo Tendencies Part 1. And Part 1, it really came into fruition during the pandemic. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, my music, because music, you really got to be able to figure out what you want to say with a project. You can drop a song here and there. If you're going to put out a project, it's like you got to really, it's got to be cohesive to some degree. You can't just throw it together. And I think it just took a lot of time, especially with doing SSK and Turned Up with the Taylors. It didn't get a lot of the attention it needed. But once the pandemic happened and I was just kind of forced to be in the house, I was like, okay, let me focus on the one thing that I actually can focus on and do from home outside of my digital. And it was music. And I was like, okay, well, musically, what do I want to hear and what do I want to be right now? And it was just pretty much my escape. That's what the whole Part 1 is. When you listen to the songs, including the skits, because there's a lot of comedy on there too. it's just an escape from the drama. I'm not saying anything crazy. I'm just like, yo, I'm looking like a snack. I'm getting thick. We having fun. I can't wait to get out. Sticky. It's just a fun album to help you, escape from the drama. You know what I'm saying? So we dropped that part 1, and then part 2 is a little bit more of, part 2 hasn't dropped yet. And it's a little bit more of my typical R&B vibe, a little bit more reflective type of vibe. But part 1 is out there, it's fun, and turn up.
It must be satisfying to be in a position where you're so young, but you get to make music just for fun. Like you have so many other endeavors that you don't need to stress every album and what it's doing and needing to make sure you do all the press necessary and let's find the right single. Like, I imagine you get to view this as just projects that you get to put together and do what you want with because you get bagged so many places.
Yeah, especially now that I own everything. Because before, I think I was exactly what you were just saying. This is the most fun that it's been for me in my life when it comes to music. Because before then, it was always a label, always a situation that made me feel like either I was a winner or a failure. And it was very hard for me to have fun with music in that way. It just made it seem like it was only good if it had this thing to it or that thing to it. And a lot of that stuff, as y'all know, is political. At the end of the day, I love music. I don't love the music industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to run every little thing or whatever like that. I just want to have fun. I want my audience to be able to see me and hear me. I want to be able to perform, obviously I can't right now, but that's what I make music for, to get out there, to be able to touch them and another facet for us to have a creative exchange.
Would you ever do Broadway?
Yeah. I did, when I first fell in love with New York, I did Cinderella on Broadway.
I did not know that.
Man, wow. I wish you would have seen the show. You would have loved, you would have had a blast. I guess we didn't know each other like that yet. Nah. But yeah, I would send you an invite.
Man. Oh, now would you go back when it opens? What would it take for that?
Original show, I think, because that I did Cinderella. Obviously, that's not that wasn't a role that I originated, and also not a new story. I would love to bring. I was working on something for a while with Susan DePass that was a modern and Black version of My Fair Lady. It was kind of like a story similar to that, all original music, but it takes a lot for people to take a chance on Broadway. A new movie.
Yeah,
exactly. So it takes time, but if I was able to get something like that off the ground and originate a role, a character, and a script for Broadway, that would be so cool.
Are you very selective these days when it comes to you mentioned the movie that you're doing now, Alice? But just even as far as like whom you're working with, not just the storyline, but does it get into that, or are you the type of person like if you love the script, I'm in?
No, I'm very particular, like you said. Not to say I wasn't when I was younger, because I was, but I think I learn more, I grow more, and I realize more in each scenario what's important to me. And I always weigh the options of something, because sometimes you might see a great script. The script might be amazing. The actors are amazing, but you only in the movie for 2 scenes, and it's just like, okay, so is it worth it to be in this company? I have the least, most exciting character, but is the script great enough? And is the company I'm in worth it? Or you might read something where it's no, other great quote unquote actors that might be a little bit more indie, newer production company, but the script is just outrageous that you just want to be a part of that kind of work. You always got to weigh those different kind of options, and that's how I see it. I think the thing that that usually tends to be the winner mostly for me, and that might, I don't know if that'll change in years, because I think production is and producers are a big portion of what make a script and a project great. But I do think, because I'm just a true, pure creative at heart, I always, I need the script to be awesome. If I read the script, I remember when we did Brotherly Love. I did Brotherly Love with Queen Latifah with Flavor Unit. And, it wasn't a lot of money in for that film. But when I saw the script and I read the script, I remember reading the last page and bawling. And I was like, I'm doing this movie. And my agents were like, this is and I'm like, I'm doing this movie, right. And it's one of the movies that when my fans come up to me, that's one of the main movies they mention. Brotherly Love, I love Brotherly Love. And I'm like, that's what it's about. Yeah. It's about touching.
Keke Palmer, the multi-talented, we appreciate having you. It's always great to see you. Much success. We love you. And whenever you're working on something, man, loop us in so we can support. You know what I mean? We just want to make sure you shine because your future's bright. You know what I'm saying? And we want to help out.
Vice versa. And let me know if y'all need me to host some. You know, I come down and host some. Let me know.
Yo, we'll get you some equipment. We gotta get you some equipment.
I don't know about the bag, but we'll send you in a mic.
You guys know I love to do stuff like that, especially your girl. If she out for a while, you know that's how.
Yo, Laura. Yo, wait till we tell Laura you was already plotting. Like, yo, let me.
but hold on. But real talk, isn't that going to be like very soon where we're gonna she's going to be out for a couple weeks?
What you doing in 3 weeks?
Yeah, in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Posting on Hot 97. Let's go.
Hey, yo, we should talk about that for real. That'll be fun.
No, it's talked about. We got to get her. We got to get her the equipment. Where are you gonna be in Georgia?
She's gonna be in Savannah.
Savannah, and it ain't nothing. All I gotta do is do that. I mean, y'all know I be doing the voiceovers. I got it. Y'all know I hook it up to my computer, be like, so what's up? How you doing? Party. So what happened? Let's talk. Let's talk, sis. I'm ready.
Thanks, Keke.
Peace.
Peace, Keke.
Peace out.
Take care.